years as a broadcast journalist. Before this was here, and I ended up doing something called the Tech Valley Update, sponsored by NYSERDA, where I had to explain to the general public, talking about the 4th grade audience, every single day, nanotechnology in 1 minute or less. Nanotechnology, which you can't see, remember. So every day, you know, I would come back to, I have to tell the general audience that this is going to improve their life. It's going to give them a job. It's going to improve their health. It's going to give them a new gadget, a new widget. You have to make it understandable to their backyard in 60 seconds or less, or in a tweet, in the characters. So you have to be clear about the message to that audience, make it very simple for them to adopt it. You have to nurture those relationships with the press. I think that is crucially important. And then it's something I think the solar industry has not been able to do very well. The press wants data, they want numbers, they want something tangible, or they want a tool. And that's what's been so helpful with the New York City Solar Map, because it made it real to every single person's rooftop. Or you could, you know, other than rooftops, we also had tools where you could draw on a brownfield, you can draw on a parking lot. So having the tools ready, something that is tangible, like when you have people that can walk through and see something, touch, and everybody can get to that location, everybody can get on the internet and do this. So making that very, very real. So thank you very much. Look forward to the discussion.
We'll ask our panelists to gather at the table. And one thing I know now is, from listening to Lori and Elizabeth, is that the question, are you smarter than a 5th grader? The answer is no. But if anybody's got a question they want to start off with, I'll let you go. Do we have a microphone runner? Oh yeah, all right. You've got good audience participation here. These are working. The gentleman in the far back corner was the first one to raise his hand up.
Hi, my name is Doug Rutnick. I'm a New York State lobbyist and a business development consultant for companies that want to do business in New York. What I see missing from the panel is you've touched on all aspects to make this happen on a residential basis. The one thing that I see from my perspective, which is a little bit unique, is that you need a cohesive product, okay? A product, it has to be something that's easy to use for the consumer, and it has to be affordable. Those are the 3 basic things. In order to do that, in my opinion, in solar, it would seem that you have to have some type of partnership with your utility company, someone that will handle the mess of the product, the credits. How is this going to be affordable to me as a homeowner? You have to have a delivery mechanism, and a delivery mechanism in which the costs will go down, which means generally a utility or a company like that would contract with 1 or more solar installers to bring the cost to its absolute minimum. The industry itself will bring the cost of the photovoltaic panels down as increase in demand happens. But it seems to me the piece that is lacking is this product. Like NYSERDA had a lighting program that worked very well through the utility companies and a small business. The small business could sign on the dotted line, pay a small portion of the upgrade to the lighting, and see their savings realized on their utility bill over a very short period of time, 3 or 4 years. It's that piece to me that seems to be missing for residential deployment. If there's a program like that where you can get government to come together with your utility companies and your installers to form what I like to call a tight business circle, where you have the ability to have a product, ease of payment, ease of use, and it makes sense. Generally, consumers and residential people, it's as simple as that. Is it easy to use? How do I get it? How do I pay for it?
I take your point very well. In particular, the partnership. Green Mountain Power is indeed an electric utility in Vermont. And to get costs to be more reasonable, we recently sent out an RFP for solar charging stations. We wanted to bulk them together, and we got a great deal of disparity, if you will, in prices from $80,000 to $40,000 We ended up with a $39,800 solar charging station, which included over 9 kW of solar and interconnection, all the pieces coming together. The important piece is having all those mechanisms come together and focusing on a particular area where we are looking at, with our new billing system, also providing an on-the-bill finance to be able to stretch that out over time. And the next piece is how do we get the vendors to understand, so we're having what we call a solar summit in Vermont, in Rutland, in next week, to get folks involved. We've created a 6-cent premium for net metering projects, gross solar net metering, so that they're not only offsetting the value of the kilowatt hours at their house, they're getting a 6-cent premium. Loosely trying to focus on the value of solar during those peak hours, closely approximating what our feed-in tariff provides to larger systems.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more grassroots than that, but I definitely agree with you that the financial piece has to be folded in. And DASNY tried to do a modular system with our clients where we were talking about solar thermal at the time, but installer, product, and financial bits all together and roll it out as a modular system. I think if you're looking at increased solar traction over the entire market, residential through commercial, I think the piece that's currently missing is the almost the do-it-yourselfer end of things. A module big enough to have some bang, so bigger than the solar charger for your phone, but small enough that you don't have to get into that financial incentive, net metering stuff, because that's beyond the capabilities of most people to even touch. I know I'm one. I just don't do money well. So I want to be able to buy something and install it and see the direct benefit to my life without having to consult with anyone else.
I think the DOE is working on that, the plug-and-play type of.
In my experience, if your neighbor puts up an array and you go to talk to that neighbor and they say, well, how did you do this? And they say, well, it was very easy. I have on-bill financing. I contacted the utility company or the organization like NYSERDA, and it was simple. I've seen this deployment in the lighting program in small commercial businesses. It's pretty amazing, but that's, to me, it's how one project gets from one house to the next. We have roofers in our neighborhood. I'm like, why are you getting your roof done? This is a new house. They said, oh, we had a hailstorm, and the insurance company pays for it. I said, well, how do I get a new roof? They said, call your insurance company. I didn't know I needed a roof. I probably did not need a new roof, but I got a new roof because I saw my neighbor getting a new roof. And it was something, it's ease of use, easy to do, and it was no problem for me at that point.
The good news is that the hail won't ruin the solar panel, so it'll survive, okay? Peter and then Scott.
In the very beginning, Tom, you said the target was 60% awareness. I'm curious, where is it now?
Actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask the panel. Do we even know what the level of public awareness of solar is? I was encouraged by Susan's presentation because at least you've inquired of people's awareness of energy more broadly. But I don't know, John, do you have any knowledge of where we might be at today?
I do not. I do not have hard figures, but I think it depends on the way that you interpret that question. I mean, one of the ways that was brought up was that how far away the energy is. I think you ask most people about the energy and where it comes from, they say the holes in the wall, and that's the end of the conversation. But getting beyond that depends on what type of consumer you're talking to, or what type of level of engagement that you can expect out of them.
Yeah, I would say that part of the question is what is their level of awareness today versus what was it in the aftermath of, for example, Fukushima, or in the aftermath of one of the more cataclysmic blackouts that we've experienced in the Northeast. And that's the idea of are we ready? Because the idea here is, I think most people's awareness is, because of Solyndra and because of the way that message has been played out, most people's awareness level about it is negative. And what Pradeep said is, how do we turn this around? How do we make people aware of the positive benefits that exist with solar? How do we better articulate them, which I think Lori's point about using the media, because the media is being used to reflect a negative message at this moment. But Jody, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to make the comment, and similar to what you just said, that awareness is something entirely different than engagement or actual understanding. So I think that that's something we have to realize too, like there's a language issue for you. I don't care how many people are aware of solar. Everyone at DASNY who works there is aware that we have solar panels on the roof. They have no understanding of what those panels do, or how that would relate to their own personal choices for their home or their business or their future.
And I think in New York City, the awareness is even lower because you can't see the panels unless you're in a helicopter. You just can't see them. So I think the awareness is different in different parts of the country and what you're paying attention to. And it's almost like, also, this wasn't supposed to be most about policy at all, but not, what I come to sometimes when I go to write something, I almost have to back into it and picture how would a politician talk about